Good evening, creepy ghouls.
Welcome.
Welcome to the creepy graveyard with,
Midnight Graveyard.
I know, but we're being creepy. Anyway, grab some poison, settle in with us. We're going to discuss 28 years later. So,
Finally, feels like a long time since we recorded the
28 years. Like,
days and weeks.
we don't age because of all the blood of our enemies that we've been drinking.
What'd
But
you think?
I very much enjoyed this movie. Um, I thought they did an excellent job trying to work on showing the different kinds of zombies. And so, yeah, they did a great job talking, like showing the evolution of the zombies. Um, I know the movie starts with us following another Jimmy,
Hmm.
and a kid, which we talked about a bit, the parental and child roles. And so we follow a child and see that his like family dynamic is basically ruined for him in the very beginning.
Well, everybody's is. He's lucky to have anybody, right? I think he kind of recognized that to some degree.
And yeah, so we get like a snapshot of this Jimmy and his demise of his family when there was the initial outbreak. And then we snap to 28 years later, and we're following another child who's in this community that is seemingly thriving within the means, right? Like almost like an old school type of community that lives off the land and supports each
Yeah.
other. And so we see another child and their like accomplishments because they're preparing to go off. And and so that's kind of where we pick up with 28 years.
Yeah. I did note that there was like the family dynamic sort of right away because they're going off. It's a hunt and it's father son, I think, right?
Yeah, like first kill.
Yeah, or first shot or something.
Yeah,
Or first trip to the dangerous,
to the mainland.
yeah, like area where if things go wrong, they won't send help. They won't come rescue you, it said, right?
Yeah, that's what they said. Like, remember, we won't go get you.
So,
And we learn that the character Spike is the child and that he's like a couple years younger than they typically send them out for this trip. But because he was excelling in his class, his dad was really excited for him to be able to go, and they were looking forward to this time together. And so like the whole town is kind of like contributing in ways, whether it's apples or a better weapon, the arrows. Everybody's kind of leaving something and seeing them off on this trip. Meanwhile, we have his mom, and we get a glimpse of her back home, who is definitely not doing well. She's in bed, not really seeming to remember where she is and what's happening and in and out of sleep and sweats and stuff. So we know something's happening with mom, but at least he has this dad that seems to be taking care of him and excited to spend time with him.
yeah.
And then once they get to the mainland, it is a weird place.
Yeah, the zombies were surprising. I felt like they were unexpected. The form they had them in, some of the stuff they were doing with the weird crawling. Um, I think makes sense if you're thinking about, I don't know, about 28 years. Are these like They didn't, I feel like they didn't explain a ton about like how it works, the zombie genetics or whatever or situation, but I was not anticipating the almost like a worm, right?
They were just really fat.
Yeah.
They were just like giant fat zombies whose like muscles were deteriorating,
Oh, okay.
but yet they were like gaining weight because they had like a ton of food for so long.
Yeah, okay.
Are those the ones that you're talking about for the fat ones?
The first ones I saw, the one that he got his first kill on,
Yeah, those were the really
like
fat ones.
crawled like a slug or something. They moved in a strange way, like
Yeah, but the one walked off, the one that he like set
they
free.
could walk, yeah, but when they
Yeah.
saw them or they first approached, they moved like slugs, giant slugs or something, and that I was unexpected.
Yeah, across the ground.
Yes, I thought that was a little creepy. It was different. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, like fat, slow zombies
Yeah.
crawling is basically what we saw.
Mhm.
Um, but not all the zombies were like that.
No, yeah, no. There were, like I said, they didn't explain like how exactly it all worked, right? But they talked about some of it, I think.
Yeah. So you get the
I,
regular looking zombies too.
yeah, yeah. I didn't mean to derail you from where you were at. I just wanted to mention that little weird aspect of it.
Oh no, that's exactly what we were talking about, is like the zombies
Hmm.
from the mainland. Um, and you said like the fat, slow ones, but then we also have um the regular zombies. All the zombies are naked. They're all like completely naked at this point. No one was wearing clothing.
Yeah.
And then you also get the alpha male zombies.
Hmm.
And we got to see them,
Yeah.
and they're terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, they're bigger, that's for sure.
They're tall, they're muscular, and they can take multiple shots of whatever, bullets and arrows, and they don't go down right away.
I
So
forget how they explained that.
those ones, I mean, they kind of talked about everything being like genetic survival
Hmm.
of this group as a species, and because they were left alone and isolated on this mainland, they've learned to kind of evolve and adapt, and we saw even breed.
Right. That's that.
um
That we did see that.
yeah, so like they kind of just show that they've essentially become this like life form.
Right. There's, yep, nine new species basically.
Yeah. So Spike and his dad go to the mainland, and that's when they run into all these different kinds of zombies. Spike is able to get his first kill, but so many things go wrong, and Spike is obviously a scared child encountering
Yeah,
these
and
creatures
just
for the
new.
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because he didn't grow up ever seeing them, because it's 28 years
Right,
later.
and
So
he's,
they're just horror story.
quarantined on that island.
So they do cut the trip early. And that's when we see like the speed of the alpha male too. The alpha male like tracks them, hunts them, and chases them
Hmm.
all the way to their front door of their community. And thankfully they're able to get there, and the alpha male is no longer, but it was like a very intense scene. And then in that trip, Spike notices a fire in the distance and learns that this is from a doctor, a real doctor that once existed back in the old days. And he knows his mom is unwell, and he wants to get her to a doctor. There is no doctor in this community, they no longer exist.
Right.
So,
Not traditional medical doctor, at least.
yeah, so he ends up sneaking his mom out, and they take now it's Spike and his sick mother, who isn't in the best physical form. Just walking can be a challenge, and
Yeah.
he sneaks her out and back to the mainland to potentially go find the
Right.
doctor.
In an effort to get her to see the doctor, which is
Yeah.
pretty, I thought that was pretty reckless. But
Oh my God,
also,
yeah.
you know, in that world too, it's if you're doing anything out of the norm, it's pretty reckless. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So,
And we see that his relationship changes with his dad.
hmm
So again, there's these family relationships that are evolving. And so in Spike almost realizing that his dad isn't who he thought he was, he decides to take charge of his mom's health and kind of set out on something where we just saw him on the mainland with his dad being very much a child, a
yeah,
scared child.
yes.
And now that he's with his mom, he's very much acting like the protector,
hmm
and her guardian. And she is also still his guardian at times, almost unknowingly to herself because of the mental state that she's in. But we do see situations where she's
Yeah.
defended him and protected him.
hmm And she,
Um,
never stopped mothering him either.
yeah.
Like that's part of why he is interested in getting. They had a good relationship, right?
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
seems so.
So then when he's with his mom, we encounter a pregnant zombie.
Yeah.
This was dun dun dun
It
wild.
was, yeah, not something I've seen before.
And the pregnant zombie connects with the mom, or the mom kind of connects with the pregnant zombie in a way that you would see like two mothers bonding and connecting over this shared experience and suffering and pain
Right.
because the pregnant zombie is in pain.
Well, she's in labor,
Yeah.
right? It turns out like she's so obviously pregnant, and then like I think the human woman comes onto the bus, the mom comes onto the bus and like scares the maybe the pregnant zombie or something, but I believe her water breaks. And so
Hmm.
like right away like okay, she's
She's giving
pregnant.
birth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I guess she would, I assumed at first she was pregnant before she turned, forgetting like 28 years. Like likely not a human that turned
I was
a
processing that in
pregnant
my head.
human that
Yeah.
turned recently. Like what would a pregnant lady be going to a quarantined area for? Like that doesn't make a ton of sense. So
But
probably
then
not that.
but then I wondered, was she turned while pregnant and then like because of the zombie virus, it almost froze
Hmm.
her pregnancy, so that she still appeared pregnant. Like I wasn't sure where they were going with it yet, but
Yeah.
you could see I was like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she's pregnant. Like what? But then yeah, she gives birth and
Mhm.
the mom helps the pregnant zombie give birth. Um, but unfortunately they had met some like another person that was crash landed on the mainland in their like boat trip, and we learned that essentially everybody else in the world is fine, and
Mhm.
when they crash on this area they are just abandoned. No one will come save you if you get shipwrecked in this area. Everybody knows it's just not a safe zone. So this one particular well, maybe like German
Yeah.
soldier, um,
I think
like ended up
Austrian.
there, and you see him with a cell phone. Like this is modern, it's meant to be modern, and he's showing it to the people in, to Spike and his mom, and they're like, what? Like this is absurd. And the things he's saying to them, they
Mhm.
don't understand his language, what he's referencing. So it's a really stark reminder of the rest of the world has continued on while this place has not, and that character somehow startles the mom and then I believe kills her. And the
The
alpha male
mom
starts. The
zombie.
mom zombie. Yeah, and then the alpha male zombie starts coming after them. And
Yeah.
we're like, oh God, is that the dad? Like,
Yeah, because he becomes enraged
or
and
another one, because
like
there are more than one.
yeah, goes and goes after all of them.
Hmm.
But does he kill the German during this?
Yeah, he does end up
Right?
killing him, like just ripping his head off
Austrian maybe, I think, possibly.
because they're very strong. Um,
Yeah.
And then the mom is like holding the baby, and it's a human baby.
And that's how this, yeah, human mother ends up sort of on the run with well,
What
we
we
don't
saw,
know that it's a human baby.
it appeared human. There was nothing like that looked zombie-ish about it. So it
Sure.
appeared human. And I believe that they ended up feeding it something down the road too that was like normal. So like, but we don't know, right? Like genetics are weird, so who
Right.
knows what traits it could have had
And
as what? Like we have no idea.
yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
Um, the
Thinking too hard about it,
creepy,
probably.
the creepy scenes I think were when we saw the alpha male, like tracking and staring down from different hilltops and
Mhm.
things. It was very much like pack animals, and this was their like alpha wolf type of thing. Like they're like
It
their leader, and they were coming and almost like somehow hearing
this
the commands.
well, the intelligence that it displayed too to like sort of scout
Hmm.
your enemy that way, and they did orchestrate different like attacks, I guess, effectively.
Yeah,
So there's a level of intelligence there that's a little bit
right.
creepy when you see him out this silhouette on the
On
hill.
the and then you see the other zombies like it very much
That's
like
the
when you
thing
see packs of
behind him.
wolves attack and they have a strategy where they're like
Right.
they come from both sides and there's one here and it
Yeah.
was
To
very
distract.
much like that and it was oh so upsetting to see like human bodies move
Hmm.
in that way.
Yeah, it was kind of cool too, though.
Oh yeah, but that's what I liked about it. It's like creepy and unsettling
Yeah.
and neat. um so through all of this, they end up not running into, but they finally do meet the doctor
Hmm. The kid. Right.
and the mom and the baby. They all get to the
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah, I thought it was the kid that found him. I think the kid maybe finds him first.
I think the
By
doc,
accident, sort of, right? Does the doctor save them
I
when
was gonna
they're
say the
like,
doctor saved them. Oh, he uses the tranquilizer on the alpha
and
male.
and it's like, come on, we
Let's
gotta go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the scenes with the doctor were brilliant.
They were pretty good. They were, a lot of, I guess exposition they call it, where he sort of explained a lot about the island over the years that he had been there, I guess, or some. But I think you probably enjoyed that scene more than me, so you can.
Oh, I loved it. Skulls everywhere, creepiness. The doctor's covered in iodine, so he's like yellowed and scary looking. And he's seems a little crazy because he's been alone for so long
Yeah.
and he's been setting these fires, wondering like how come nobody's coming to him. And we learn that the people have just in this community have just stayed away because they from a distance saw something that they couldn't explain and was like unsettling to them. And so then they never went further and asked the doctor about it.
Yeah.
And we learn that he has these beliefs that it is like necessary to die. And at the same time, it is necessary to love. And so every person that dies, he has this process of basically returning them just to their skull. And he's created these skull monuments of their remembrance. And in that, he is continuing to love. But they have viewed all this like this doctor is no longer a doctor and he's lost his mind and he's doing some weird shit. And uh,
It was cool
it was
sculptures and
very,
things.
yeah, it was really cool. And just that piece, like remember we die
Hmm.
and like remember we love. And that's it. Like, that's all.
Memento Mori.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting. Um, and yeah, I mean, with that, the mom's finally with the doctor
Yeah.
and they don't get good news.
Yeah, no. She's done for, basically. And the doctor basically says that the humane thing to do is effectively put her down, right?
Mm-hmm. That she has stage 4 cancer. There is no treatment. There
Right.
is no cure because and clarifies to Spike who has this misconception that all medical things from the old world were just so much better and we could like prevent death
Right.
and cure any illness.
Uh-huh.
And so he has to kind of really like wrap his head around the fact that that is not the case here. And the doctor
Hmm.
like kind of explains to him like, no, even in the old world, we didn't have a cure for this.
Yeah.
And we had ways of making it more bearable. but eventually they died. But we don't have those ways of making it bearable here. So your mom's going to suffer and it's going to get worse very quickly. Um, and that's when the mom also decides because she's like, I had a feeling,
Right.
but I didn't know how to tell you, like to her
Right. I could
son.
tell things are not going good. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then, yeah, she, like embraces Spike. They have a very intimate moment, and
If you
Spike
watch the
is with,
sunset, right?
hmm
Maybe. Is it did a good job with it? Like,
And yeah, well, and he takes the skull and like puts it at the top of the
yeah.
tower, of his mother, and
Huh.
he has the baby now. Um,
Yeah.
and then he decides to return home, because he wants to return the baby. He wants to bring the baby back to his community. And we think he also wants to go home. So he takes his adventure that way.
Yeah, he's sort of
Um,
ready to go home now.
and but he doesn't return himself. Instead, he just kind of drops off the baby and leaves a note for his dad. And the note is something about like, needing a bit more time, but that like he's sorry and like he loves him because
Wants to go alone or whatever.
yeah, which is I think like a kid coming of age kind of thing too, right? In this.
Yeah, but I feel like he would have. It was a little confusing that part for me because I thought like it's really still very dangerous
Hmm.
and you're alone. And like I would have thought you sort of would have figured out on this trip with your mom that like thank God you weren't alone because you would have died 10 times over. Like and you would have known better than saying, all right, I'm gonna drop the baby off and then just do this thing totally solo, you know?
Yeah, I understand that, but I also thought they were trying to tell of like what does it look like when a kid goes through the
Yeah.
same things we all go through, where you realize your parents are imperfect
We're all
and
normal.
that some of the things are maybe you were lied to, like the
Mhm.
beliefs you held and the way you saw the world wasn't true. And that had an effect, right? So like I kind of took it as like, oh wow, this is his like coming of age story in this
No, yeah.
setting.
Right, and I agree. I think you're right. And, I just,
Yeah, I felt that it wasn't realistic because of
yeah,
the dangers.
yeah, and that,
Yeah.
that almost sort of coming of age would maybe have been more the opposite, where he decides, like, oh, yeah, I'm not gonna to do that, even though I want to because of, I
Hmm.
don't know. But I was able to buy it because I thought, okay, I get it. It is like that, like a maturing, you know,
Hmm.
process or whatever thing that they're doing.
Um, but then at the very end, Spike meets with dun 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 dun.
The Jimmy from the beginning, right?
Uh-huh, the boy that we saw in the beginning.
Who managed to scratch out an existence totally on his own.
Hmm.
And we get a little bit of his story, right? Does he tell us like a little bit about I had my dad and he was a pastor or a preacher,
His dad wasn't though.
right? I thought that's what he had said.
No,
And that was the guy we saw in the beginning.
his dad ended up turning everybody in the house, and then he went to
Hmm.
the church and said father, like as in the pastor,
Right.
like called him father. But his dad was actually in the house with them all and is the one that turned everybody.
Okay. I see.
But we heard he didn't tell us anything. We just see that they're like, oh, they are some like
Different.
funky nihilist, like punk rockers almost, and
Yeah,
like,
the costume was definitely different. It was
mm-hmm.
pretty cool. They were supposed to be Scottish. Was it supposed to be? Was one of them supposed to be Scottish? Jimmy, maybe? Or am I? No.
I don't know.
But yeah, it was I was not expecting to see them.
Oh, I loved that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is
A
crazy.
lot of surprises in this one, like for me at least, where I was like, oh, I'm a little bit shocked by the range, I guess, of zombies, like the different kinds that they had and the idea of like evolution around
Hmm.
that. But very entertaining. it's not too often you see a zombie movie and say like a lot of new ideas there. You know, like
Yeah.
that's impressive that the third movie in a trilogy and, thousandth zombie movie ever to be made, they're doing new stuff. That was cool.
Yeah. And I thought that something that was interesting is that like you see the zombies are evolving, but you also see people, right? Like they're continuing to evolve and adjust and adapt
Right.
and survive. Um, and we've talked about the relationships with like family and that readjust itself as needed. But I thought with the way we saw the ending, where you know that Jimmy has lost his entire family, and his last line is like, God, why have you forsaken me? Like in the church when
Mhm.
he's hiding. So like
Mhm.
you you're just left with this like a lone little boy, just a few years younger than Spike's age. And then he welcomes Spike into his group at the end. And it's like yet again you have this like he now be like Jimmy now becomes a protector.
Right.
Um And we saw Spike already was with this baby that he could have
Hmm.
been like, I can't handle you and zombies.
Hmm.
I'm 12.
Right.
Like, but he didn't. And with the doctor and his mom and just all these different people that you see supporting each other and dying because of it. Um, I had in my notes, are we seeing that love is also spreading at the same rate as the rage virus, but it doesn't look the same?
Hmm.
And so we're less likely to notice it
Let's
because
see.
it's small things
Right.
and it's little ways, but they are acts of love. And I thought since
Okay, I can see that maybe.
it kind of matches with the doctor, like
Yeah.
we all die and we all love.
Right.
Like that's it.
Yeah. That's kind
Um,
of what I like those sort of.
and it kind of sums up those movies. And even the zombies, like they, I think they were, the alpha zombie got upset when the pregnant woman
Oh, yeah, it was killed, right?
was killed,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
like, are they
No.
loving? Like, what's
Yeah,
happening?
like we said, they're thinking some it too.
Hmm.
So,
So
hmm.
yeah, it was like it was so different.
So different. Yeah, definitely. If you're in the mood for a different zombie film, or you like the other ones, I wonder. I feel like a lot of 28 fans are gonna be not super happy with this film.
Mm.
Um,
Because they didn't get like some of from the first one.
I feel like it was sort of a departure from the first and the second in a couple of different ways that, might make people not pleased. But
I I felt like this one lined up more nicely with the first one.
hmm,
But again, the second one was like a almost like a chaotic, like, oh, weeks is still a small amount of time.
yeah,
But I thought this shared a lot of the same elements of like the solitude and the um like abandoned locations.
yeah,
I don't know. I'd be
definitely.
curious to know. So if you're a fan of the
Yeah.
movies, let us know what you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. If you like the other two, what you thought of this one, I'm curious.
Hmm.
I wasn't expecting what we got, but I enjoyed it. I think I'd recommend it.
I liked it, and I would probably rewatch the first and this one, the last one,
Mhm.
more than I'd rewatch the second one.
Yeah, I'd probably rank them. I don't know. I might rank them one, two, three. It's either
I
one, two,
know.
three, or one, three, two, but one's definitely number one.
One's number one.
Yeah.
And so many Jimmys. So get out there
Yeah,
and
check.
see it. And as usual, like, subscribe,
Thanks for joining us.
and join us in the chat.